There's been a fair few reports flying around recently about the actual power and specs of the Nintendo Switch. You may recall my video just the other day on a report which claimed that the console will actually be based on the Maxwell architecture and not the Pascal architecture like most people expected, which will make it less powerful than the vanilla PS4. And now we have some more information on the Nintendo Switch clock speeds thanks to a rather lengthy report from Eurogamer, and I will include it as a link in the description, but I'm basically going to give you the cliff notes. It is pretty damn lengthy. Now, they did reveal that the Tegra X1 chip which powers the Switch might actually be underclocked, as according to their reports the clock speeds will be locked at 768 MHz, which is a fair bit lower than you would expect. And the report reads here, quote, "As things stand, CPU clocks are halved compared to the standard Tegra X1. There's a GPU aspect of the equation that will prove more controversial. Even while docked, Switch doesn't run at Tegra X1's full potential. Clock speeds are locked here at 768 MHz, considerably lower than the 1 GHz found in Shield Android TV. However, their findings didn't just stop at the graphics card, it also extended to the GPU clock speeds, and will obviously have a pretty significant impact on any games choosing to make the move over to the Switch. Again, according to this report, the Switch's GPU will be downclocked to 302.2 MHz, so it will be possible to hit Nintendo's thermal and battery life targets. And again, the report reads, quote, "But the big surprise from our perspective was the extent to which Nintendo has downclocked the GPU to hit its thermal and battery life targets. That's not a typo, it really is 307.2 MHz, meaning that in portable mode, Switch runs at exactly 40% of the clock speed of the fully docked device." And a table which is obviously shown in their article does indeed confirm that developers can choose to hobble Switch performance when plugged in to match the handheld profile if they so desire. Now, this is going to have a huge impact on development. Now, you might wonder, why would a developer choose to have the same version of the game when docked versus when it's in handheld mode? Well, because essentially, according to this report, if you want to make a game run at 720p, this just for example, while in portable mode, and then 1080p while docked, will basically mean you have to develop two versions of the game. Of course, it's going to be extensive QA required for both modes, and of course, this is going to be hugely costly, especially when you're dealing with a multi-million-dollar project like, say, for example, Prey, which Arcane seem unsure if it's actually going to run on the Switch or not. Now, the question really remains is if this is going to be a significant enough impact on development to actually really matter. It definitely is going to have an impact, having to develop two different versions of the game if you want to have it be more powerful or run better or look better while docked is definitely an issue. However, you should also consider that, say for example like a game like Prey, which is going to be multi-platform, it's already coming out on the PC where they have to develop and optimize for an almost infinite amount of configurations, and then of course you've got the PS4 Pro and maybe even the Scorpio, which is coming out next year as well, which they might want to add support for later on down the line. You're already developing for several different versions, so you could argue, well, is one more really going to make the difference? And maybe so, actually. It might actually make a difference, or it might not. What I really want to see is some comments from developers as to how much is actually going to impact their decision. I can see definitely a lot of people who want to perhaps, keep the budget at a reasonable level. Perhaps they can't afford to even support the Pro or the Scorpio, and then maybe not even coming out on PC, for example. And they decide, it's easier just to have it be flat across both the portable and docked modes. And even if they are developing for PC, they might still decide, look, we can't afford to do both. Maybe they're a small developer or something like that. You can kind of see the possibilities as to why they might make that decision. And of course, the specs are a little bit concerning in this report. Now, Eurogamer do cite a developer in their report which basically likens it to producing a PS4 game versus a Pro game. And of course they're already having to do that plus PC, so again this might just be the sort of straw that broke the camel's back, as it were, or it might be a non-issue. I'm going to see if I can get a reply from any developers who are thinking of developing for the Switch. I mean, whether or not I do, we'll have to see. But I will contact them and see if they can make any comment at all on if they're at all concerned. I mean, to be honest, they might not even be able to reply until it's actually confirmed what this thing is. But regardless, I will try and get a reply from them, because I am very, very curious to see their perspective on this as to how big a deal it actually is. Because on the surface, it seems like it could be a huge deal potentially, or it could be a minor deal for other games. So I'll try and contact a few across the spectrum of developers and see what they have to say. But it's a little bit concerning, to say the least. But of course, I'll update you as soon as any more information becomes available. And of course, we will be having the full Nintendo Switch event next month, and hopefully we'll get a confirmation of the specifications there, as well as the price tag, of course. So let me know your thoughts and opinions, guys. Thank you as always for watching. Do remember to like and subscribe if you haven't done so. It does help out a great deal, and I'll see you next time.